A lot of guys think that if women aren't constantly giving them super obvious attention, well, they must not be attractive. But what if I told you the most powerful signals of attraction are almost always silent? Yeah, they're subtle, they're easy to miss, and if you don't know what to look for, you'll walk right past them every single day.
So let me just ask you straight up. Could you be way more attractive than you even realize? It's a real possibility, and honestly, it's pretty likely. Because the most attractive men often have no idea the kind of impact they're having. The signals just aren't obvious. They're happening right below the surface of our normal, everyday interactions. And today, we're going to decode that hidden language.
Exactly. The clearest, most honest signs are almost completely nonverbal. We're not talking about cheesy pickup lines or over-the-top flirting here. We're talking about decoding the subconscious cues people give off when they're around someone they find genuinely, truly attractive. Once you learn to spot these, you're going to have a much clearer picture of where you really stand.
Okay, so first up, let's zoom in on her unspoken language. We're talking about the direct, nonverbal cues that women give when they're interested. Honestly, these are some of the most powerful and reliable signals you can get.
So, sign number 1 is something we'll call the lingering glance. Now, this is not some random, accidental look. When a woman finds you attractive, her eye contact might just last a split second longer than is socially normal. It's a subtle test, an invitation, really, to see if you'll notice. And trust me, that extra moment of eye contact is rarely an accident.
Let's just play out a classic scenario, say in a coffee shop. You walk in, you scan the room, and your eyes meet hers. She holds your gaze for that crucial extra second before maybe looking away, a little shyly. But here's the key. A few moments later, she looks back. That second glance, that is a massive confirmation. It's her way of acknowledging you without saying a single word.
All right, our second sign is what I like to call the gravitational pull. See, highly attractive people, they kind of act like social magnets. They have a certain gravity. You'll start to notice women finding subtle excuses to just enter your orbit. Maybe they join a conversation your group is having, or they just happen to stand next to you at the bar. It's a super low-risk way for her to get on your radar.
Now for our fourth sign, and this one is a really cool subconscious behavior called mirroring. When someone feels a strong connection or attraction to you, they will often, without even realizing it, mimic your body language. It's their brain's way of non-verbally screaming, "Hey, I'm on the same wavelength as you."
So start paying attention to these little patterns. You lean back against the bar, and a moment later she does too. You take a sip of your drink, and suddenly she's reaching for hers. A lot of the time, she won't even have a clue she's doing it, but it is one of the clearest signs that she is completely tuned in to you and your energy.
Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit. Beyond those one-on-one interactions, your attractiveness can actually be measured by how the entire room reacts to your presence. These are what we can call the environmental cues.
This brings us right to our third sign. People just listen more intently when you speak. The psychology behind this is fascinating. It's called the halo effect. Basically, our brains take these little mental shortcuts. We subconsciously assume that if someone is physically attractive, they must also be smart and funny and confident, so their words just seem to carry more weight.
This quote pretty much sums it up perfectly. Your appearance literally creates an expectation in people's minds. When you look confident and well put together, people instinctively give you a higher status before you've even opened your mouth. So when you do speak, they're already primed and ready to take you seriously.
Okay, moving on to sign number 6. You often catch people staring. Now hold on, this isn't about long, awkward, creepy glares. It's way more subtle than that. It's that moment you walk into a room and you just notice eyes briefly shifting your way, or catching someone glancing at you a few times from across the room. Your presence simply commands a little bit of attention, even when people try to hide it.
Sign number 7 is so interesting because it's not even about romantic interest. It's all about how other men react to you. A highly attractive guy will usually get one of two responses: respect or competition. They either see you as a leader and they defer to you, or they see you as a threat that they need to one-up or outshine. Either way, both reactions are confirming your high social status. All right, for our final category, let's look at what people just plain assume about you. Your attractive presence creates a whole narrative in their head before you've even had a real conversation. Which brings us to sign number 5. When you're genuinely attractive, the compliments you get start to go way beyond the surface. See, a woman has already processed that you're good looking, so her brain starts digging for the details. She might comment on your confident vibe, the sound of your voice, or just say, "I like how you carry yourself." These aren't random. They're her trying to put a finger on what exactly makes you so magnetic. And finally, our 8th sign, and this is a big one. People assume you have options. This is all about social proof. An attractive man carries himself with a certain confident, non-needy vibe. You aren't desperately chasing validation because, frankly, you're used to getting it. People, and especially women, pick up on that energy. They can tell that you're already wanted.
And this classic phrase is the perfect example. When a woman says this, even if she's just joking, what she's really telling you is that she assumes you're this charming and charismatic with everyone. She is literally acknowledging that you probably have a lot of options, which is one of the most powerful signals of your high status. In her mind, you're already pre-selected.
So after all that, what's the real takeaway here? It's not about creating some checklist to go out and boost your ego. No, it's something much deeper, much more fundamental than that. Look, we've just covered 8 very distinct signals. If you recognize even just a few of these in your own life, the lingering glances, the mirroring, the way other people react to you, then all the evidence is pointing in one direction. You are almost certainly way more attractive than you've been giving yourself credit for.
But listen, just recognizing these signals, that's not the final step. This knowledge is meant to build genuine internal confidence. The real key here isn't just to see the signs, it's to finally start owning them. It's about stopping all the second guessing and starting to carry yourself like the man people already see you as.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. Now that you can see the signs, now that you have the proof, how are you going to choose to carry yourself tomorrow? Because that shift in your own mindset, that's where the real power is.